Yeah, sure. Hi, Finn. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Um, how good does it feel to have got that win on Saturday, especially after the two before it?
It's great. Get the team back on track. Those two results that we had previously, obviously they weren't great, but um, get us back on track is great. Leading into Wellington as well, it was
Uh,
a win that we kind of needed, so it's good.
yeah, you mentioned Wellington. How exciting is the prospect of potentially being able to play at Sky Stadium on Sunday?
Pretty amazing to be honest. All the boys are buzzing. We're all excited for it. Yeah, honestly, we all just can't wait playing in front of the fans. Something that we haven't been able to do, and the boys haven't been able to do for such a long time. So we'll all be looking forward to it. Definitely.
Yeah, when did Ufi sort of tell the team that you'd be changing up your system for Saturday's match?
I think it was after after the Central Coast game, that a day or two after we did our review on what tactically we needed to do better over time. So yeah, we found out 2 or 3 days before the Western United game, so we had a bit of time to prepare in that shape and just get to know the movements and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, what, you would have had probably a couple of sessions, what, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah, yeah,
work
just
on it?
2 sessions to work on it. But the good thing about the system that Ufi plays is that all the principles are pretty much the same. So it's most of the time it's pretty easy to adapt, and you just have to change a couple of things. But we all know our roles, which helps a lot.
Yeah. You've obviously picked up a few starts in recent weeks. You've probably played a lot more than you were probably expecting when you flew over at the end of last year. How have you sort of found yourself developing from your first appearance, way back when to sort of where you have been this week?
Um, it's been everything's happened a lot faster than what I sort of expected it to, in terms of playing, but also just I think improving as well. You start out the first game and everything's going 200 miles an hour, and you're struggling to keep up with the speed of it, kind of thing, because it's just a new level. But I guess the more you play, the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get within the speed of the play, especially. That's been the biggest thing. That's uh, the biggest step up, kind of, is the speed of it all. But when you get to play alongside guys like Lawsy and Paney and Scotty, like, they just help you the whole time, and Louis as well. Louis and Cal, they've been great to have next to me. So they've helped me a lot while I've played. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, if we just go back to the end of last year, I know we've talked to you before, but there was obviously that period where you guys were all trialing with the team or training with the team before they flew out. You didn't get the chance at the end of that, and then the call comes a month or so later. What was that sort of month in between like for you in terms of what feedback were you given, and what did that sort of leave in terms of motivation for yourself?
It was a weird one. To be honest, going into preseason, I was kind of treating it more as a more as an experience kind of thing, rather than I have to get signed now, kind of thing. I know I was young at the time, or still am, kind of thing, but I wasn't like too worried about it if I didn't get anything from that preseason. I kind of, once that had happened, I realized, like, yeah, I'm probably not quite there yet. So I'll spend the next whatever 6 months or the rest of the season with Greeny and try and improve as much under him, get really good with the structure, and then I was targeting the next preseason, when the boys would all come back, and try and impress there, um, and earn a spot then. Like I say, it all just happened quite fast.
Yeah, and I'll just ask one last one for now. But obviously, if you do potentially keep playing free at the back, there's another spot for a central defender. Obviously, Lawsy's on his way back from his injury, but you know, are you in a place now where you sort of feel comfortable, where you feel ready? If you're called on to start A-League matches, compared to I guess where you were when you made your first start.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been very fortunate to get the amount of game time that I have. Like, I wouldn't have expected it. And if you said before, like, any opportunities that we're getting, is we're very fortunate, because in another year we might not get as many due to COVID and that sort of stuff. So, like you say, I've been trying to take every opportunity that I've been getting, and I definitely do feel more confident now that if he plays me, if he picks me for the side, then I'll go out there and do my best, and I'm sure that like it'll help the team. I'm confident now that I can play at the level. Obviously, it was hard at the start, but it's only getting not easier, but I'm only getting more used to it and adjusting to it. But I know whatever team he puts out, they'll do their best, and then wherever I am in that, I'll go out there and do the best for the club.
Oh, cool, thank you.
You rest up, Andrew. I'll take a wee period here. Hey, Finn, very nice to meet you. My apologies for getting on a little bit late. Thank you for waiting. Just can you confirm, are you guys still in like a bubble situation over there in Oz?
No, we're with the team. We stay with the team, but we're allowed to like do kind of what we want in that like out of training times and that sort of stuff. But
Sweet. So there'll be no restrictions when you get home to Wellington. You won't have to bloody do that sort of stuff.
No, I don't think so.
So any cafes and bars you want us to warn ahead of your arrival back home, or?
No, not really. I'm not sure.
Hey, just in terms of you spoke about how you're very early on in your professional career. How does the last 4 games? How have you gone about learning stuff? Because you got good victory, 2 towelings, nice victory. It's that real up and down, ebb and flow sort of stuff. What have you found yourself learning about yourself as a footballer during these last 4 games?
That's a good question. It's one where something that the boys have talked about to me before, and it's about how you need to try to keep your emotions kind of steady, regardless of how the team's going or how you're going. You don't want to get caught in the ups and downs of it all. Like, you know, when you get a good win, you might be on top of the world and feel like you're doing amazing. But on the other hand, when you lose by a lot, you might feel down the bottom. Whereas realistically, there's positives and work-ons to take out of every single game that you play, regardless if you win 4-1 or lose by a lot. There's always things to work on, but there's also always things to look at positively as what you might have done better than the last game. So yeah, like the boys say, just trying to keep the steady emotions.
As Andrew pointed out, there was that slight structural change. Was that a direct result of those previous 2 games, or had been something that had been sort of being worked on?
It was probably more something that came from the games. I'm not sure what if he was thinking, kind of thing. But he made a decision, and all the boys, like I said before, all the principles are pretty much the same. So the boys are able to adapt to it quite well, and whatever he kind of instructs us to do, we'll do it.
Have you actually played a game at Westpac Stadium, or sorry, Sky Stadium, for any team?
No, I haven't. I think the Rezzies played there a few times, but I was never in them at that time. Never been in the first team before, so hopefully we'll get a chance there.
So if I describe to you the thought of coming out of the changing room, turning the corner, looking down that tunnel, seeing what we hope will be a really, really cool crowd waiting for you guys to arrive, the Phoenix faithful sitting there just above waiting for it. What does that thought do for you?
It excites me, to be honest. I'm sure as it would with all the other boys. I think we're all really looking forward to it. We know there'll be a crowd there, and we hope that Wellington and New Zealand can get out there and support us. But yeah, like even you just describing it there gives me some goosebumps just thinking about it.
What do you reckon the Yellow Fever's got planned for you?
I don't know. I'm sure that they'll be there in numbers and supporting the boys all the way.
Talk us through. I mean, is it something that's been spoken about a lot? This is the last one from me too, by the way, Finn. I appreciate your patience. Has it been something that the guys have been speaking about a lot whilst you've been away for such a period of time? Getting home, getting into your home, into your house, and what it means to the team?
I think it's always been in the back of our minds, thinking about coming home and how amazing that would be to be able to play there. But at the same time, we've been taking it game by game. You know, like at the start of the season, it was 2 months or 4 months away, so we had to really focus on the now and the next game kind of thing. So yeah, it's been something that I'm sure people have been thinking about it, especially more and more in the upcoming weeks to it. But we've been pretty focused on each game as it comes, rather than looking too far ahead, because there's always a job to do before it.
Good opening chapter, though, when you write your story sort of in 20 years' time when you finish playing this game, isn't it, though?
Yeah, obviously to come back, it will be amazing to play there. The team's been through a lot of ups and downs, but this would definitely be a big up for everyone.
Thank you very much. That's all the questions from me. Thank you, sir.
No worries.
I'll just sneak in with one more, Finn. There's sort of been 6 of you guys over there for quite a while, academy guys. Starting with Curtis and George, then the 4 of you who went over, right at the end of last year, and then you've had Riley and Louis come in this week, and even Alex and Ben Old, they're only just removed. How much have you guys all sort of, I guess, backed each other and reinforced each other, during this sort of time away? And then I guess also how much, what stands out to you about the way perhaps some of the senior players have really got behind you really young players over the past couple of months?
Having each other here has been really nice. It makes it a bit easier to fit into the environment, because you've already got some people that you're close with, especially like off the field. They're like easy mates to hang out with. But in terms of the older boys, like they have been super supportive of everyone that's come here. They've always been willing to help out, and they've been patient with us all, looking out for us whenever we need it. Like I said before, like I've got boys who have really looked after me when I'm playing, but those guys also look after me in training and give me tips and try to keep the standards high and that sort of stuff. So honestly, it's a great group to have come into. No complaints there.
Oh, cool, thank you.
And Finn, just a couple from me on behalf of Barry Guy at RNZ as well. Just how many games have you actually watched, I suppose, as a fan at Sky Stadium? Have you been there at all? Will this be your first time come Sunday?
No, I've been to a few. I've been in Wellington I lived in Wellington for about 3 years before coming into the first team. So I'm not sure how many games, probably 10 maybe. 10, but only one where it's been like this, like the last year's crowd, where everyone was fully hyped up for it after a long time. So I know that this one will be just as special.
So you were at that game last May?
Yeah, all the academy boys were there, all cheering on Ben as well.
Yeah, of course. And for you as well, and I suppose all of you who went over late November, when you went over at that stage, did you think it would be this long before you'd finally get to come home?
Not really, to be honest. We thought, when us academy boys went over, we thought we wouldn't be there for probably the whole season. We thought that we would be there for the FFA Cup games and back up when we were needed and that sort of stuff, but then probably head back to the Rezzies when they started. But ever since that, kind of the borders shut, we've just been here and trying to take every opportunity. So yeah, we didn't expect to be here probably as long as we have been, but I think I speak for all the boys, we've all taken our opportunities when they've been given to us.
Fantastic, Finn. Thank you. Any other final questions, Nigel, Andrew? All good? Thanks, guys. Cheers.